as you saw in part 3, getting one of those mini DSPs is the best way you could contour the sound of your system. You drag along a computer, plug in USB, set it to whatever you want, save it as a preset, and then that's it. You're done. You want to adjust it, go into the program, USB port, you're done. Or if you get crazy, you could go to the gig, actually calibrate the room, and then do your gig and whatever. That's a good option. I'm thinking out of the box here, and here's another option to do for, I guess, cutting the low frequencies going to the S1s. And I came up with something called an F mod. An F mod is basically just a little it's a little crossover. It's a capacitor and a resistor that limit and slope off -12 decibels from a certain frequency down. Completely passive, no electronics, nothing. And this is a little RCA in and out. It's not balanced though. And you can get these in any frequency you want. High pass from 20 all the way up to 1,000 hertz. You'd have to get one for each S1, right? And then it'll just basically slop off everything from a certain frequency, and you got no bass or less bass going to it. That's great. Problem is, what frequency? There's no adjustment here. It's basically a fixed frequency. These have been out for years. It's a small company that makes a bunch of stuff, and they work these little products. As I remember years ago, I got one and used it to convert, basically for a powered. I turned a powered speaker into a powered sub with one of these, and basically cut off all the highs. It worked great. I don't know what frequency I want. So they have this product called a parametric electronic crossover. Right, and this is called a PF mod, and the model you'd be interested in is the HP1. Now let me show you. This is hllabs.com. You can get these on Amazon, but they're basically coming from the factory. This is the pinout of the HP1, and you'll notice on the in you have 2 ins and 2 outs. Your signal in would come in on these 2. Your full range out, I would pass to the sub because it already has a filter built in. And then your high out would go to the S1s. Again, unfortunately, none of it's balanced, but whatever. It's not an expensive device. And then with this device, there's not actually a slope control, but there is jumpers that you can actually set. And 60, or 50, 170, 150. By changing the jumpers, you can actually change where the cutoff point is. And there's no electronics. There's nothing to break. Nothing, no power needed. Just a little pocket device that you can set, and that's it. You obviously doesn't give you any contour or parametric equalizer or anything like that, but this is a good way that you could possibly turn an A1 with a B1 into your sub. Now, I thought about I had the B2s, and thought about getting a pack light, hooking it up, and then I'm like, okay, now I got to carry around a crossover and an AC cord and a bunch of wires, and I'm like, no, I didn't want it because I'd have to buy the A1. But this would work for the A1 and the B2, if you can see. Basically, feed it in, feed it out, and then all the low frequencies are being cut. You would probably pick high pass, low pass, two-way, even subsonic. All these different things they have. Something option that if you wanted to do a little mini crossover. I would like to find a passive crossover with an adjustment or whatever, but I don't think it's really necessary because basically you're just rolling off the bottom frequencies, which is allowing the woofer in the S1 to not be run so stressed. Let the the base run out of the sub. I think this is a better option to start off with, and then obviously if you want a permanent mount, something that would go in your rack, then go for the mini DSP. So, just an idea.